Hey guys, to re-upload where I've changed the audio levels, hopefully down to suitable levels. And there was some valid arguments and critiques made in the Reddit comments as far as the build is concerned. I'm going to tell you that this is the build that I personally run when I run into a melee Melka, but the points that were made are valid, and I will be doing a second build review. What's up guys, it's Stuck on Pandora here with the Zer0 Dark Melka guide. We're going to, as usual, get into the helix. We're going to run through the gear. I'm going to give you 2 gear sets. Let's go. I always start on the Zer0 Dark Melka build with the hobbling strike. Why? What I exemplify with Melka is I try to go for melee kills, alright? This is the thing that I don't see a lot of people doing, is taking the melee to its maximum potential. There's Galley with an overshield. We don't want none of that. We're going to jump right on overhead. We're going to engage Marquis. We're going to prime him with our gun. We're going to get some melee, some dots on him, hit him with the hobbling strike, slow him down, and we are going to evac like we just hit a Palestinian compound.
Oh shit, how in the fuck?
In this case, we have a Chaotix being buffed by the Shepherd bodies, being very mobile. He's got a lot of survivability. We hit him with the hobbling strike and body block him so he can't get an escape. Last example here, we turn the corner, we see that Gold is low health, we hit him with the hobbling strike, he's slowed, you can see the swirling around his head, we get to finish. Now here we're going to out melee Atticus, and this clip is in here because the goal of the Zer0 Dark Melka is that we can build with Melka a melee combo monster. I go with Parting Gift because this is Thorn's Blight. It deals a lot more damage than what you think, and you want to apply the poison because we're setting somebody up for the assassination. Okay, and we only have one goal here, and that's to get one kill, one single target kill here. As of level 2, we now have a repertoire. This Marquis could die in many different ways. We just dropped the gift on him. Melka becomes the melee monster because of the combo and toolkit she brings. We can now clear ads just as well as Thorn. Here we want to push the Thorn, we strike to slower, kick in with the special melee, we get 2v1, we put dots on our Rendy to back him off, and now we focus the Thorn with melees and our Parting Gift. You can both get lucky and get style points with Melka. I'm not saying which one this was, but sometimes you'll drop that Parting Gift and get KOs out of nowhere. The third choice here. So I'm sure you've all been caught by a Wrath or Deandi where they've gotten underneath you and done all that, and it's hard to get out of them. Well, Melka is going to do the opposite. And what's really cool about Melka is that she is one of these characters with a hidden melee trait, which is when you're running and you melee, you'll do a special move. You've just given yourself maneuverability and yet another offensive weapon. Before here, action reload and tactical withdrawal neither meet our needs. For one, action reload is quite buggy because Melka's gun is quite buggy. When you do a reload, if you're in the middle of it and you're shooting your canister out, you can do any action. You can melee, you can do a skill, and she's going to reshoot the canister. Sometimes it'll apply damage, sometimes it won't. Blade ejection is great for finish any low health hero, and that's going to help you even more get those Melka finishes. And the cool thing here is as we engage here, think of all the different offensive options we have.
Power play.
No way! I can't believe it.
Let's give her some health regen, huh? Look, this is going to happen over and over. You're going to be applying poison to enemies throughout. And the goal is already to melee people, so you're going to be getting health regen when you're at your most susceptible to being killed because you've decided to get into somebody's face. So here we have a Galley being pushed, and both of these guys know that they can't get in on that Galley, but Zer0 Dark Melka don't care. It's a Sama time. So you're small, you're fast, you're agile, and you have lots of offensive weapons. This is a Thorn that's leveled enough to have her ultimate, but it doesn't matter. It's time for revenge. A surprise attack by Arendi leads to a more objective clip. I just want to show you guys. The Arendi applies this initial damage, but because of the dots and the melee, we really get out of there no worse for the wear. So Arendi hits us for about a quarter of our health, but here at the end of the battle as the health regen kicks in, you see that we're almost right back to where that initial strike damage was. The spike is not only Thorn's blight, but it's also Melka's primary escape tool. Something to note is when you apply spike, you should jump and you should look up. And then if you have it, do your strike claw. That's what's going to get you really high and allow you to escape and get some weird places. Up to this point, you've built her toolkit. Now you get to utilize her toolkit because the damage is there. 300 initial damage on Galilei, and we've applied the dot. We push her through the mid. Hobbling strike, still good. Use it to get the finish. Parting gift did 300. Our claw just did 236. Look at the dots all together. Well over 600 damage. You got your power spike, you come down here, you think, oh my god, probably Thrill the Hunt. Thrill the Hunt is extremely good, okay? There's no doubting it. Because what it's going to allow you to do is run down another enemy. You're going to be faster than their escape speed because you've applied them with the poison. The problem is that Refined Canisters has undeniable DPS. You can now more than just sneak into a compound. Look at the objective-based gameplay. The weaknesses of Melka still need to be taken into consideration. She never becomes tanky or a real survival expert, and this was a close match, so I think it's important to show that Canisters, what it does here is it pushes the lane back. Arrow strike, again, undeniable. We've almost totally gone left. There's a reason we want to melee people to death, and that melee speed takes her off, man. That's when the DPS, the 56s are 56, you know. Your melee speed has now been about doubled, and this doesn't necessarily show that off, but it shows off that we look at the options Melka brings to the table. We hit him low with a dropkick, we hit him high with a claw, we slow him down, we poison him.
Our enemies have spawned a giant minigun. Stop it.
But ultimately, you are now Zer0 Dark Melka, and you can go and get those clutch assassinations for your teammate, such as a Marquis. Here you'll notice the speed buff, from your budding Zer0 Dark Melka, meleeing Galilei and Caldarius, to now dropping elbows rapidly on most wanted terrorists and campers. All in. Why? The goal was to finish a target. This is 500 damage. So if you brought a Battleborn to half health, even on Galilei, you're talking about pretty much dropping them. Now here's a Galilei who had the mind to push us. We hit her with our ultimate, destroying her shield, doing a nice initial 492 damage and applying the dot. She pushes us, so all we do is jump over and apply parting gift. 345 damage, she's hurting, she's half health, the shield's gone. But we pushed her so hard that she's disoriented. She wasn't expecting that much damage to come down on her so quick, and still the dots keep burning. So we apply Hobbling Strike. She's not getting out of this one. Now, look at us. We're deep behind enemy lines, terrorists around us, and in comes a beautiful American Eagle.
Osama bin Laden, we caught him and he's out of here.
General capture, this is what I'm running these days. Pure speed. I just want that chase down speed and attack speed, because that's both making her magazine empty quicker and get those quick claw melees out quicker. She already does really good damage. And here's kind of a trick with Melka. You get skill damage, it affects her dot. Her class legendary mutated magazine does 80% reload speed. It does 4.8 attack damage, and Melka only. Each melee hit speeds up your next reload by 10% to a max of 50%. Now that's pretty good for what we want to do in the Zer0 Dark Melka, right? We wanted to do those assassinations and everything. I still think you're better served though with attack speed. I just happened to get this from the Sentinel, and it's worked out okay for me, but I'll throw in her mutated magazine in there sometimes, Honestly, something else that I like to run a lot that's worked out pretty well for me is to put on one of these shoulder pads, especially this one right here specifically. These flawed purple. We'll get into that in the gear guide, but this is like the future. Flawed purple right there with the health regen and the damage reduction. Melka's already very tiny, and you're getting into dangerous territory every time you go for these long-range assassinations. So that's primarily what I run, is one piece of survivability gear and some attack speed gear. And of course I'm experimenting with it, but you'll find with a lot of these characters that you enter the area of diminishing returns. Alright, so the point of the Zero Dark Melka build is to